We firmly believe that we need to go out and do a lot of research for our clients and understand the Insurtech landscape to bring forward good ideas and technology innovation for our clients' benefits. We've been to 4 or 5 events in the last weeks alone. We've been to DigiCon, where we spoke about blockchain, which is very, very interesting, and the adoption of blockchain or DLT in the insurance industry. We recently went to Insurance 3.0 in Shoreditch, a very cool event held by a chap called Sebastian and his team, fantastic stuff. Many conversations there regarding new technologies and innovation, especially the adoption from the big insurers. We've also recently formed a partnership with Insurtech London and attended a couple of their events. And unfortunately, we missed Insurtech Connect in Las Vegas because I think a lot of parallels can be drawn between Vegas and the Insurtech industry at the moment. There's both positive and negative takeaways from attending all these Insurtech events, and I think the biggest positive is seeing just how big this innovation industry is becoming and how much attention and how much focus the big underwriters are giving to it. And what's kind of a cool secondary positive takeaway from it is just how many people are being employed just servicing the events industry in the Insurtech space. How many insurance hubs are being created or Insurtech hubs are being created, and just how much focus is being given to it. I think one of the negatives where we see is that a lot of investors and big underwriters come to these events looking for their Uber moment, looking for that one Insurtech that is going to take their massive organization and turn it into the Uber of the insurance industry. And we have to remember that Uber is a combination of pre-existing technologies that were put together in a certain way and created this Uber moment. So I think that the insurance company or the investor that can find the right fit of various Insurtechs, find the right mechanism to plug them together, is going to create the Uber moment. I believe that the most positive thing at the moment is the appetite for change amongst the large insurers and the MGAs and the UMAs. It's almost like these large insurers are seeing the Insurtech market or the Insurtech industry as an independent, outsourced kind of innovation hub, and it's good to see them cultivate and nurture these hubs and driving innovation. But it's really putting a lot of attention and focus on just how important innovation is in the insurance market. I've been quite vocal about not doing tech for the sake of tech, and I think that a lot of these Insurtechs exist purely to create technology for the insurance industry without really understanding how we're going to utilize it later and how it actually brings benefit to the customer. A second concern that I have around it is some of these Insurtechs need to be license agnostic. Too many of them are aligned to a particular carrier or particular underwriter, and that kind of is going to limit their market. They need to be agnostic, independent, and work within multiple channels. And then thirdly, and probably the most controversial concern I have regarding the Insurtechs is how they measure their success. I recently read a newsletter where 14 of the 20 stories in the newsletter was about how much money Insurtechs raise for themselves. Now, that is very cool for a startup, but ultimately we need to find a measurement of success that is to the benefit of the policyholders as well as to the investors. So I would like to see Insurtechs bragging about how many policies they've sold, what their gross written premium is, or how profitable they are, considering that most Insurtechs don't make any money. I think the first challenge that they're going to face is the identification of the right technology for their MGA, for the insurance company. It's very tempting to get lost in this ball pit of fun that is the Insurtech industry and so many things to play with. But identifying what is actually going to make a difference to your organization and to your organization's clients, I think is paramount to that success. And then I think secondly, and one we always forget, is the adoption of this technology. So now you've identified this really cool Insurtech that you want to incorporate into your tech stack, but you don't have the back-end policy administration system to do that. So I think people need to give a lot of thought as to how they're going to adopt something once it comes along. And I think that is going to make a big difference in organizations. Over the past few years, Genasys has invested heavily in opening up its architecture via our APIs. Now, we believe that this is going to enable all of our partners and any new partners to integrate into any Insurtech that they see viable for their business. Open ecosystems is definitely the way of the future.